being willing to share your story.
Well, thank you very much to Ross and Jackie for having me here today, and thank you to Mel and Grant for bringing me along to your lovely church. It's so nice to be on the completely other side of the world and be so welcome somewhere. Like, I know New Zealand's very welcoming compared to England, but it's so nice to come here and feel so welcome. So I am a farmer's daughter from Devon, which is in the southwest of England. I am the youngest of 5, and I have 9 wonderful nieces and nephews. And I am also a photographer, and I always feel really at ease when I take a photo, because I am used to telling a good 250 wedding guests what to do, but I am not used to standing in front of 50. So is it okay if I just take a photo? I'm going to go back here, so I can get oh, you need to do that. Get you guys over here. Lovely, thank you. Feel a bit more at ease now. This is like my comfort blanket. No younger you need. That's fine. Anyway, so I was brought up on a family farm, and I was brought up in a. I was so lucky to be brought up with parents. My mum, Christian, my dad, he's not a Christian, but he's not as into it. And we were always given the option to go to church on a Sunday. That was fine. Or you could stay at home on the farm. That was fine. Either way, great. And that was, so since I was born, I had God there, but he was there on my shoulder. He was there in my heart, that my whole life so far. And but I wasn't fully submersed. Is that a word? Committed. Committed, that's a better word. And everything I went through, I knew God was there, but I properly didn't let him in. And there was things like going right back in school. I never felt like, I always had lots of people I could go to. I was in the popular crowd, but I didn't feel, I did not fit in there. And I never found a friendship group. It sounds a bit strange, but never felt I had someone, but I always had God, and I always had a little chat with him instead. And so there was that, and then as I got older, I joined Young Farmers, which is a huge organisation in England, and it's not so much over here, which is weird, as you're all farmers. You probably not, but there's a lot of you. And
not many young farmers live.
And Young Farmers in England is a great way to meet people, and it was great for me to meet people that I felt I fitted in with, but I thought I fitted in with. And from Young Farmers, it's called the dating agency in England, and I met plenty of boys, and from the age of 15, I had a constant boyfriend, different one each time, so it would be constant. And I wasn't the best Christian. I would just say that because it's a family. And as soon as I did these things, I presumed I wasn't a Christian. Even though I knew God was there and I chatted to him, I wasn't a Christian in my books, because when I went to church, there was this perfect group of girls. They did everything that a Christian girl should do, and I did not fit in with them. And I felt very judged from them. I probably was not at all, but I think because in me, I felt I wasn't accepted, I presumed I was being judged. And so from that moment, I was like, well, that's my chance done. I'm not a Christian, even though I was still having chats with God every day, so it made no sense. And I'm a wedding photographer, as I mentioned earlier, and as I didn't really have a friendship group, I just committed to my job. From the age of 15, I have been a wedding photographer, and I am now 22, and I have photographed just over 300 weddings, so I've just committed to weddings. So I was just working the whole time and just forgetting about everything else and focusing only on work, which is good. It's good to like your job, but I was at a wedding in 2016 and I had a headache, like full-on headache. So my whole life I've had headaches I'm one of those people that just always has a headache. And so I'm used to dealing with them, but this headache was major. And then I couldn't get my chin to touch my chest. That was also being sick. Imagine that, trying to, it's not easy. But I was also at a wedding, so I was trying to keep my cool, but I couldn't keep my cool. Could not keep my cool. And luckily I always have an assistant with me, and I was like, you're going to have to do all of the group photos. And I went to that farm, because I do a lot of farmers' weddings, dating agency, good business market. And I went into the farmhouse and they said I could go in their spare room. And I was in there with this headache that was getting worse and worse. And I presumed it was heat stroke. I had never had heat stroke, and I've been told it's pretty bad, and it was a really hot day. Nothing compares to your hot days, but it was a hot day for England. And I just didn't know what was going on. It was awful. Anyway, a couple of days at home with heat stroke, and my mum was like, right, I'm ringing the doctor. And I was like, don't be silly, I just need to drink water, it's heat stroke. She was like, no, ringing the doctor. The doctor came out to my house, and she said, you've got meningitis. And I was like, right. I didn't know what meningitis was. I was like, is that just some, I think I thought it was like chicken pox, like, just get over it. But then a blue light ambulance was at my door, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I didn't really want to cause a scene, but I was going off in an ambulance, and I was at the hospital, and they were like, we're just going to do a brain scan on you, just because we have to rule out a few things. And by now it's midnight, and my mum had to go home because of the hospital visiting hours. So I had this brain scan, and I managed to get back to sleep get some sleep after the brain scan. I was asleep for like 5 minutes because they'd given me some high drugs by now. And they came in and they said, we need to get you to another hospital really quickly. You're going to have surgery when you get there. You have been born with a brain condition. And I'm playing, but I'm not sad, so don't feel sorry for me. Just thinking back always makes me sad. You were born with a brain condition, and you've had a brain hemorrhage. At that point, I didn't. It was funny. I didn't cry at that point because I didn't understand what was going on. And thank you, Mel. And so I was there, and they were like, right, you're going to have your operation at a different hospital. So the ambulance came, and I said to them, so I've been given a lot of morphine by then, and morphine is nice, I like it, it's my friend. I was very happy. I was like, okay, great, yeah, you do that operation. And I said to them, are you able to call my mum, because I don't think she's gonna panic. So perhaps if you tell her I'm okay, I'll be fine. And they were like, of course your mum. They explained that. So I was definitely going to be blind after this operation, and the chance of survival was 9 out of 10 die, so that's a very slim chance. And I was like, cool, okay, so there is a chance. Yeah, that's nice. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to be a photographer if I'm blind, but there's other jobs. And morphine, honestly, gets you through things. And I went to the hospital, and all of the neurosurgeons there were like, we are not treating her. No, we do not feel qualified. And then we were like, right, what happens now? So they kept me on morphine for a couple of weeks, and I was just in hospital whilst it gave them time to work out what to do. And they were like, we might as well just send you home with the drugs whilst we work out, because they had now contacted all the neurosurgeons in England, and all of them had said no to operating on me just because of my age. They didn't want to do any long-term damage. And so I was at home, and I had been home a day, and I was in my bed. My mum was in the next door room making her bed, and I always like those moments because you can have a little chat with her. And I went to the toilet, came back out, and I knew straight away what happened. My head
pounding, my neck seized, and I was being sick. And this time, this was by far the worst moment of my life, like hands down, easy. I knew this time that was another brain hemorrhage. This time I knew it was not going to be good. And so they got another ambulance out. The ambulance, you guys need to sort out your hospitals because you are far from a hospital. The ambulance took 4 minutes to get to my house. I don't think it would take 4 minutes here. So they got in the ambulance and they gave me some more morphine, so I was happy again. And I went to a different hospital and they were like, we still haven't worked out a plan. So they just kept me on morphine and I was in hospital for another 2 months just on morphine. And in that time, so I do blogs via my website for my customers. And I was trying to write blogs. I couldn't really do much. They had an occupational therapist come on. Sorry, this has gone going off on one. An occupational therapist came in one day and was like, I just want you to draw a clock. I was like, okay. But I didn't know how to draw a clock. My brain had completely stopped working. But I also wanted all my customers to know what's going on. So my mum helped me and my assistant helped me and I started writing blogs by telling them what I wanted to say. And in these blogs, people were contacting me. The messages I was getting back at this point was overwhelming. They were like, how are you staying so positive? Why are you so positive? And I was like, ugh. And it was at that point I realised God had been my morphine. He had got me through every single moment. And it was at that point also I realised all these other things had led up to, so all of the things that had happened in life had happened for a reason, and that was for me to realise that God had been there, sitting on my shoulder, even when I had been like, nah, I can't be a Christian. And from that point I was like, right, people need to know how great God is. He got me through 2 brain hemorrhages and then a lot of operations after the days that operations did happen. And I'm here. I can still take a photo. And I don't think that all that clapping needs to go to God. That not one bit was me. I had a smile on my face every day in hospital, and people were like, wow, you're amazing. I was like, no. I'm not, this isn't my smile. Like, God's putting this smile on my face to show, and it was so good for me to see the other people in hospital and how they just needed a boost as well, and smiling was their boost that they needed. And I thank my mum, because she gave me, basically, I think God gave her what I needed, and that was positivity, and we got through it, and here I am today, in front of all of you. I got on a plane, and went 27 hours. That's pretty cool. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that, and I'm just really happy to be here, and I just wanted you all to know, even though you already do, that God's pretty great, and I wanted all of the people, I'm aiming this at the youngsters, but whatever age, if you ever feel like you can't be a Christian because of what you've done, you're forgiven. You're allowed back in. And those people that you thought judged you, they don't judge you. They're quite nice people. Yeah, that's all I've got to say really. But thank you.